Scaling your law firm doesn't have to be difficult. It's all about mastering a few key strategies, systems, and mindsets. Welcome to the Scalable Law Podcast, where we talk about how you can increase profit in your pocket and time in your calendar. My name is Carolee Fontanelli, and I have successfully scaled my firm so that it doesn't solely rely on me. Now I love teaching other law firm owners how to do the same. Let's transform your business starting now. Welcome to another episode of the Scalable Law Podcast. I am your host, Carolee Fontanelli, and I'm so glad that you are here joining me today. No matter where you are tuning in from, I hope that you're having an awesome week and that you are, having lots of fun and success in your firm this week. So I want to just get straight on into it, not waste any time. We are talking today about testing and measuring your metrics in your law firm for your marketing and why it is so important. So what is testing and measuring? Well, it is testing out and measuring the success of your marketing campaigns to really see how your marketing campaigns are tracking towards your law firm's KPIs or your goals. Now, I've talked to so many law firm owners and people just aren't doing this, and they absolutely should be, because there is such a massive wasted opportunity where you are potentially throwing money away and not getting the results. I was speaking to a lady the other day, and she had been spending about $1,000 a month on SEO. That was the only marketing that she was doing, and it was the one thing that she was committed to spending money on, because of course we all want our website to be at the front of Google when you type in estate planning lawyer, Sunshine Coast, or family lawyer, Auckland, whatever it might be. We all want that. But if you're spending money on something, $1,000 a month, for example, it's a lot of money. How do you know if you're actually getting results or not, if you're not testing it? So you're getting phone calls coming into your practice or your business. People are making appointments, they're inquiring. But how do you know where they've come from? Is there an indication of whether or not that $1,000 a month is paying off? In my view, the only reason to spend money on marketing is to make more money, to get a return on your investment. Now, there's two ways that you can do this. One, through branding. So it might be harder to measure the branding. And the other is through direct sales from your marketing. So, for example, as with the SEO, as an example, that they Google your practice area, your area where your practice is located, and then they find you because you are on the front of the page, because your SEO people have done an amazing job. And so therefore, you know that they have come through that page. Now, if you get one a month, what you know is that that person who's come to you and retained has cost you $1,000 a month. If you get 5 a month from doing that activity, that marketing activity, spending that money and investing that time, then you know you are getting 5 a month for $200 per retained client. So this is what measuring and testing all of your marketing means. It means to know for certain what you're spending on each activity and what the outcome is of that spend. So if you don't test and measure, how do you know? You might be spending money on radio, you might be spending money on SEO, you might be spending money on referral lunches, whatever it might be, but you don't actually know where your people are coming from and how they've come through to you. So we've all been customers of different businesses where they ask, how did you hear about us? And these businesses are testing and measuring. They are wanting to know how you heard about them so that they can have some sort of indication of what marketing in their business is working and what isn't. So that's why testing and measuring your metrics is so, so important. Now, I've been doing this in my law firm since 2016, and it has made a huge impact on my profit because I'm not wasting so much money anymore on random marketing. What it also means is that when I get all of those calls, like, oh, I want you to do banner ads, or I've got this great deal where you can, be on my TV screen inside the doctor's surgery where there's, hundreds of people sitting each day, whatever it might be. I know what works because I've done all of those things and I've measured and tested all of those things. So I know what works for my practice in my region. And so what it means is that I don't then now spend money wasted on things that are not working. So an example of this, now, by no means is this not the right thing for you in your region. It might be, but an example. For Google Ads, I know that a Google ad client that retains us costs about $500 to retain a client from Google Ads, because I know that because I measure and test all of my marketing. And then I also know that a few years back, I did radio ads, and I did radio ads on two different stations here on the Gold Coast, both stations in my demographic of who I'm trying to attract into the law practice. And I did them both for 9 months. So I tested them both out, and to the surprise of the manager who was looking after me, the account manager, I can actually go back with real figures on how good and their ads are actually working. So both stations, I paid about the same amount of money for the 9-month period. And I learned after testing and measuring that one of the stations was not as effective as the other, even though they had even a better demographic than the first one. The other thing that I knew, remember how much I told you it costs to retain someone in my business for a Google ad? Well, I found out after testing and measuring and spending that money was that the radio advertising to retain a client was costing $3,200. So what would you rather do? Would you rather spend the money on the radio ads and retain a client for $3,200, or would you rather spend money on the Google ads where I was retaining a client for $500? So this is a really simple and it really does help you to tune on in and work out how successful your marketing campaigns are in your law practice. So when you're not testing and measuring, you are just guessing and you don't have a clear picture about whether or not your marketing strategy is actually working for your law firm. And as I talk to law firm owners, what I find is that they are just doing all this ad hoc type of marketing. So they just kind of throw money and see what sticks. And it's really not a great way to run your practice successfully because one, you don't know what's working and what isn't. Two, you don't know how much each activity is really costing you when it comes to retaining clients. And three, the other thing too is that when you engage a marketing agency, which most of us are going to as law firm owners because it's not our expertise, right? Even for the people who come through the Scalable Business Lounge, we don't do your marketing for you, but we teach you about these simple principles. We teach you how to engage the right marketing agency because that in itself can be really mind-boggling. And unlike law, marketing isn't really something that, has a standard. So there's a whole lot of cowboys out there. And how do you know if they're cowboys? How do you know if the money you're spending is good money or a good investment if you're not testing and measuring? So, when you are testing and measuring, it can really help you keep your marketing agency or marketing people on track. So with my testing and measuring, I send my weekly results to my Google Ads guy because then we've got something solid that we can work on. We can tweak the ads and we can go from there. And in the past, I've sacked ads people due to poor performance because I've got facts and figures that can actually show exactly what's happening, because they will look in the back end and show you how many clicks is happening or how many people are visiting, but what's actually happening in revenue and retained clients. So I guess the point is that when you're testing and measuring, you are working on facts rather than your gut instinct, which is super empowering when you actually have the facts in there. Not only does the testing measuring help in your, gathering information and data for your actual marketing, but it can also really help when, for example, you have staff and they're saying things like, oh, we're getting so many people inquiring about, X, Y, and Z irrelevant area of law, or X, Y, and Z irrelevant thing that we don't practice. So in my practice, for example, that would be child support and family law. We don't want to attract child support clients. Every time we've ever helped anyone with child support, it's, an uphill battle. They're usually trying to fight a debt that they have and cannot get out of. And so they're just not the ideal client for us, right? So we will not take on anything that has any attachment to a child support agency debt or something like that. And so people in my office will say, we've had so many child support inquiries and, that's so many. So what does so many look like? Let's have a look at the data. Let's go back and actually count how many we've had. And because we're collecting the data, I can say, well, you've had 2 this month. Is that so many? Or I can say, oh, wowzers, we've had like 5 in the last week. What is going on with our ads? Is there something up with our ads? And, then we're able to tweak and find new solutions as to what we can do to start attracting the right client and stop attracting the wrong clients. Because, of course, phone calls into our business means resources used up and time used up. So we want to be able to hone in on that marketing as tightly as we possibly can to create the best inquiry that we possibly can, which converts to retained clients. So by capturing all this data, it really does allow us to tweak our marketing so that we get quality leads into our firm. And so this is so, so important to us because the main thing is that we want to know who and how many we are converting and what that percentage is. And we can't know that if we're not measuring our data, if we're not collecting our data. And, these are the things that we help you set up in the Scalable Business Lounge. We've actually got an entire module around data, but you can see just in the short 13 minutes I've been talking how important it really is to be testing and measuring. It allows you to save money. It allows you to aim your marketing in the right direction for the right type of clients. It allows you to tweak your processes and your marketing so that you are then getting the right people phoning your business and not the wrong people phoning your business. It also really, really helps to create predictability in your law firm. If you know how many inquiries you need to get as many, say, initial appointments, to get X amount of retained clients, it becomes super simple to create a rhythm and an automated system to get clients in the door. For example, 50 inquiries might equal 30 appointments, which might equal 15 retained clients, which equals predictable revenue, right? Because we then know what our average dollar spend is for our retained client. We know how many service providers we're going to need inside of our business. Everything just becomes really simple, including making it very predictable for your next hire. So the other thing too is actually then working out how well each of your team members converts clients, and some are better than others. Let me tell you, running a team of 8 lawyers and many over the years, I can tell you that they are very different and they do vary. But it helps us to then also, when we're doing that kind of measuring, work out where the gaps are and what we need to tweak. We save a lot of time, money, and effort and we can work out what the exact return is on all of our marketing efforts. So it honestly just makes a huge difference. The other thing too that I love is that we can really work out with each of our different types of marketing, whether it be Google Ads, SEO, referrals, radio, organic marketing such as SEO, I've said SEO, any blogs appearing on podcasts, whatever it might be, we can work out exactly what the cost is to retain each client and whether or not we really want to put our efforts out there in that space. So really what it does is it helps you to not be asking questions anymore like, how do I know when to hire my next lawyer? And will I be wasting money on this marketing effort? And what marketing works best for me? Is this a good investment? It really does help you with that, as well as give you so much power and certainty when it comes to scaling your firm and having control over retaining your new clients and revenue. So implementing it is really, really simple. This is something that we help you to do inside the Scalable Business Lounge. If you would love to know more about how to implement this, this is where we really get into it inside the Scalable Business Lounge. If you have never heard of the Scalable Business Lounge before, it is an online program where we also do some live coaching as well. And you get me to help you to grow your business. You also have a whole community of incredible law firm owners who are there with you on the ride, and they're going through all the same stuff as you. We have a step-by-step program which helps you to attract the right clients, test and measure all of your data, and then systemize your business so it's a well-oiled machine and doesn't need you anymore. So that is where we come in to help you. If you would love to know more about the Scalable Business Lounge, please contact me on email, carolee@scalablelaw.com.au, or you can contact me on Instagram or LinkedIn at Carolee Fontanelli. I'd love to hear from you because I love having lawyers in there that are go-getters, that want to really get in and do this work in their business because they want to make a difference and they want to make an impact. So that's what we can help you to do. So that's all I have for you today. I hope that you have enjoyed this podcast as much as I have enjoyed this topic, because this really is one of my favorite topics, because it has absolutely changed the way that my business runs, and it has changed everything for me in terms of feeling more relaxed and not so stressed about what's going on in my business, because I've got this predictability. So if you want to do the same, here I am, ready to help you. Love to make contact with you and chat. So have a fabulous week, people. I look forward to you tuning in again next week. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to the Scalable Law Podcast, brought to you by the Scalable Business Lounge. If you would love to know how you can get more clients without relying on referrals, head over to scalablelaw.com to watch my free masterclass. Until next time, you have got this.